I'm going to get so much crap for this episode. Grossi Posse Packer Nation, welcome to an episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom Grossi, and today we are looking at a guy who Packers fans have been clamoring and praying that he falls out of the top 10 and into our laps at 12. A guy who has been projected. I've seen him go as high as like the number 5 spot, and that is inside linebacker Devin White. Now, this episode's going to be a little bit different than the others. And the reason that is because up to yesterday, I was pretty sold on Devin White. And it wasn't until I was going into the highlights to include in this episode that I started noticing a pattern that I wasn't really cool with. But we'll get to that momentarily. Just want to let you know, you just have a few more days to head on over to bonfire.com/Packcast to pick up your Packcast merch. You can get a hoodie, you could get a t-shirt, long sleeve shirt, jersey tee, whatever your fancy is. Head on over to bonfire.com/Packcast. Again, only a few more days left on that. I believe that expires on Sunday night. In addition, a big shout out and thank you, especially to our new patrons over at patreon.com/TomGrossiComedy. Check that out for some cool rewards. Now, before we get into actually breaking down his film, let's jump into his stats first, right? And why this guy is so highly wanted by a lot of NFL teams, or at least is being mocked really, really high in drafts. So in 2016, played 8 games, had 15 solo tackles, 3 for a loss, 1 sack, and 1 forced fumble. So pretty good, right? Solid. But again, was like a backup, wound up coming in during the season. 2017, played 13 games, had 37 solo tackles, 96 assisted tackles for a total of 133. 13 and a half of those were for a loss, 4.5 sacks, and an interception. And then in 2018, his latest season, he had 62 solo tackles, so almost doubling what he had the year before. And then he had 61 assisted tackles with 123 total tackles, 12 of them for a loss, 3 sacks, and 3 forced fumbles. So, I mean, those are impressive numbers, right? Like, I don't think anyone, as an inside linebacker, anyone's going to complain about that at all. His tackles for the past 2 years, when combined with his assisted, are in the triple digits, and he obviously had his best year. Last year, he won the Butkus Award for the best linebacker in the country. He's a good run defender, right? He's a solid pass defender. At the combine, he ran a 4.42 40-yard drill, did 22 reps, had us a 39.5 vertical, and a 7.07 three-cone drill, which I think is more important, obviously, as a linebacker, because if, again, you're a linebacker and you're running down the field 40 yards, that means that something bad has happened. So I think the three-cone drill is obviously more important. He used to be a running back as well, so he was able to convert over into linebacker, and he was breaking records at his high school, and he's most likely going to go in the top 10. And obviously, his accolades that he has received are well warranted. The guy is a really solid football player, and in any draft, this guy could potentially go within the top 10. Here comes the but. Now, I'm going to put it out there right now. I am not a film analyst. I am not one of those guys that really just breaks down what's going on within the play and, tracking their movement and their stance and their positioning. That's not me. I got strengths and weaknesses, and that is something that I haven't really tried to grow. But even I could see the problems when it came to Devin White's tackling. And it concerns me because I'm not hearing enough about it. And should there be the potential, though however slim, that he falls to number 12, I'm actually so turned off by it that I don't know if I would want him at 12. And right there, I know I'm going to lose a lot of people. And I'm going to be like, Tom, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. And again, I fully accept that I could be totally wrong about this. But I'm going to show you what I saw over and over and over again. It wasn't just a one-time thing. And I thought, you know what, maybe this was just earlier in his career, maybe this is from 2017, but then I pulled up to 2018 highlights, and I saw the exact same thing. And that gives me some serious concerns. So this is the problem that I have with Devin White's tackling. So you'll see here, 3rd and 7, the quarterback is going to run out to his left, right? He runs out. Devin White gets blocked. He sheds that blocker, jukes that blocker. Fantastic. But take a look at how he brings down the quarterback. I don't know what kind of tackle this is. So you could argue, again, right, he's like in the moment. He's unable to, do what he's supposed to do and get down and wrap around near his hips. Take a look at this one. So open field tackle, which he makes. Every single one of these are highlights. Right, he is not going to fail on making a tackle or at least an assisted tackle or a sack on any of these plays. But look how he's also making this open field tackle. He grabs his right arm with one hand, is able to kind of sort of get the second hand on, then gets flung into the air and is able to just wrap around with the other hand and pulls him down from on top of his jersey. So this works, right, because Devin White's a strong guy, but you're also going against college running backs. There's no doubt in my mind that a Saquon Barkley or any kind of power running back could break free of that. Then you have this 4th and 5. So here's a quarterback again. So he's going to try and scramble for it. Devin White over to the left. He's going to make this assisted tackle. Right? So one gets past one guy, and then he's going to go. Look exactly where he goes, just to begin. He doesn't go for his legs. He goes right up top again. And I would argue he doesn't even really make this tackle. If anyone is making this tackle, it's 97 who's stopping all of his momentum. So that's where some of the assisted tackles come in. And then you have a 3rd and 6, right, against Florida. So the ball goes off to 22. There's Devin White, able to get behind the blocker. But again, right up top, right near his neck, able to bring him down but by his shoulders. And he's getting assistance from 26 to wrestle him down. So, again, not going for his legs. That's not where he's comfortable. And I'm not saying it's not effective, but my main concern is that is this going to be effective when he's actually in the NFL? So here we go again. ATM game. Quarterback drops back. No problem. Scroll running out to his left. It is just Devin White and this quarterback. Look at this tackle. He overruns the quarterback, is able to get one hand on him, and is basically holding hands with him until he breaks free, and then the quarterback winds up falling to his knees at the 10-yard line because there's another defender coming. So here's another one. Quarterback drops back, makes the throw, and look at this tackle. It's complete, right? And it's good coverage, right? White is right on top of him. But the only reason he gets him down is because he's holding him by the jersey and is ripping him down. Because, again, he's not going for the legs and he's staying up top. Here's another one. So, little screen pass action. White gets past the blocker, is going to disrupt this play. 91 is going to help him. Look at where his arms are. At the very, very top, trying to drag him down. And, again, it's effective, but this last one I'm going to show you. So the quarterback is able to break free, right? He has blockers. Going to block one of the defenders. Going to shed another blocker. So there's number 9, and then White is coming from the top of your screen. No legs or anything. He just stops completely and hopes that the quarterback is going to fall down. So another closer look at that is, again, how he handles this is just going up top again, and he gets popped for doing it. Right? He gets popped, the helmet's moving, and almost gets knocked back, but he is out of this play. The play is, it ain't White. And that's the kind of stuff that concerns me. He's not doing it all the time, but he's doing it enough, but it actually gives me a bunch of pause about drafting a guy who's supposed to go within the top 10, and his tackling needs work. So, in summary, Devin White is a damn good football player, right? And I think, obviously, the Packers have a need for inside linebacker. They don't have Jake Ryan anymore. Clay Matthews was on that duty for a little while when they moved him on the inside. We could always use another run stuffer. And I'm not saying that he's going to be a bust or anything like that. But, again, I don't see how you could have this kind of flaw and still go within the top 10. And again, his coverage is good, right? He's got 6 passes broken up in 2018. Like, it's good, right? And at the end of the day, like a lot of the footage that I just showed you, he's making the sacks or he's making the tackles. A lot of them are assisted, but he's making them, right? And at the end of the day, that's really all that matters, right? That he's making the play. But my concern is that he might be making the play in college, but once he starts going up against either some of the bigger offensive linemen in the NFL or the power running backs or the wide receivers or, hell, even some of the QBs, he's not going to make those plays because, oh God, whether it's, poor form because of coming from a running back, whether it's poor form just because he was never taught the right way, it is very unorthodox. It really stuck out to me, and it was something that gave me a lot of hesitation. And again, as of yesterday, I was like all ready to sign off on this guy if he fell to us to 12, like absolutely. And I talked to plenty of fans who were saying we should trade up for him. And after seeing this and doing my breakdown, this gives me a lot of concern, enough concern that I don't know if you take him at 12, if he's even there. But maybe I'm just crazy. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. You can always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com, TomGrossi Comedy, on all the social medias, including Patreon and Twitch and all that great stuff. Also, check out Podcast on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, and, of course, here on YouTube multiple times per week. So that's that. We'll have another video tomorrow. I can't even imagine what these comments are going to look like. But thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack Go.